Good morning. Welcome to the SnapRetail Webinar. We're going to get started here right now. We'll begin with prayer, and we'll jump right into it. Let's pray. Dear Father, we just want to lift this morning up to you as we're scattered around the country.
Unmuted.
That we will, that we can stay focused, Lord, on this webinar. We can get through it. We can do a good job presenting. That there will be stuff that can be learned, that can be used, that can be put into practice immediately. I lift up the stores as they're going about their work. It's starting to get that busy time of year, Lord. It gets tough. It gets crazy. I just pray for patience. I pray for peace. I pray for the right staff to come along at the right time, that they can get through this time of year, that everyone can stay focused on serving you, whether in a retail store or we're here in the office, that we get to go about your business. Thank you for that blessing to work in a place that is doing your work. I just lift this morning up to you now, in your precious name. Amen. Well, welcome. I'm Eric Ernstrom. I'm going to introduce Clint Parsons here, and we are going to get jumping right into a handful of things. Clint, you're on.
All right. Well, thank you, Eric, and good morning, everyone. Pleasure to talk to all of you at once instead of just on the phone singularly. Thanks for joining us today on the SnapRetail Christian Retailer Webinar. As you see on your screen today, we want to discuss some of the more exciting features available in your SnapRetail account, as well as some of the best practices to get the most out of your account, especially with the Christmas season coming up. The first topic we'll discuss today, and in my opinion the most exciting, is the vendor incentivized emails. Well, what are these vendor incentivized templates, you may ask? Oh, that's a great question. They're regular, ready-to-send templates with a twist. And they can be found in your Vendor Templates tab in your SnapRetail account. You'll simply log into your account and navigate to the tab as you normally would. And as always, you have several ways to navigate to your Vendor Templates tab. You can click the Create and Send icon right from your dashboard. You can click on Email from the drop-down menu from any page, or you can create an email directly from your calendar. Your calendar is the most versatile piece of your SnapRetail account. You simply click on the plus sign on the date in which you wish to send your mail, and you can create your social media posts and store events in addition to emails without navigating away to separate pages within your account. Once you've made your way to the email creation page, simply select the Vendor Templates tab. This is where you'll find all your ready-to-send vendor templates, including the incentivized templates. So once you're here, you'll look for the vendor incentivized templates that I've listed in my weekly newsletter emails to each of you. Now, I'm curious, how many of you are receiving my weekly newsletter? Apparently, all of you here are. So in case you are getting this email vicariously, please let us know through the question box. So next, what we're going to do is to take a look at one of these vendor incentivized templates, and then shortly after, just a short review of one of my newsletters, just as a reference. The first time you send an incentivized template, you're eligible to receive credit directly to your SnapRetail account. So Eric, can you tell them a little bit more about how this works?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have some of the vendors are paying, are providing incentive for you guys to push the button and send it. A lot of emails are out there. You can just send them as you want. These are the same way, except when you push the button, you actually get paid to send them. There's a limited amount of money from each vendor when we put these in the system, and we get a regular report out of the Snap, out of the tool there, that allows us to see which stores sent a template, which templates were sent, and how many people it went to. So we are tracking these incentivized ones really closely because it's limited funds. So as you can see there, it says they're available on a first-come, first-served basis. And so it's based on when you actually send the email. You can schedule it out ahead of time. That's great. Use that calendar as Clint was showing you to schedule stuff maybe for a whole month. But we see when the email actually got sent out. It's based on the time of send in terms of this first come, first served for the money. You can send emails, as some of you know, you send the same emails multiple times, and that's great if you're doing an in-store event, or you want to promote a monthly sale, like 40% off all these titles, you can send it as often as you like. The incentivized portion of it only counts toward the first send that you do. Again, send it multiple times. There's no drawback to it. It doesn't cost you anything. You're putting it in front of your customers again, but the incentivized rebate comes back on the first one. And there are times we'll have multiple. In fact, this month we have more than one, right, Clint? Incentivized one? You get paid for each one of those that go out, not just one a month, but as many as are in there. If you send them all, you will get the rebate back on each one of those as they go out. And I did fail at the beginning to mention the question box Clint mentioned just a second ago. If you have any questions as we're going, if you have a comment about something, or you've tried something that worked really well, maybe you've sent one of these and you had a great response, there's a question box on your GoToWebinar screen down at the bottom. You can type a question, just submit that thing, and it comes right to us. We'd love to have your feedback as we go through here, if you have any ideas. So that's how the incentivized portion of this works. The next slide here is going to show, let's see. Oh, there we go.
It's sort of a repeat slide, but it is the latest October, as you see, October Books of the Month incentivized template.
There we go. What we're trying to do down in the copy is we're letting you know that there are funds still available. So when you pull this email up, if you want to send it, you're curious, is there still money? Are you going to get paid back on it? It's down on the bottom of the screen. On the suggested copy. If you're familiar with the system, the email itself is pretty locked. You can't change anything on in the image portion of it. And that's a protection for vendors. That's a SnapRetail thing. They're locking that down. They don't let you touch a vendor image and tweak it and shrink it and do all sorts of stuff to it. But down on the bottom where the copy is, you can do anything you want. So we use that. It's very flexible, and we put that in there. We give you suggested copy. Visit your locally owned Christian store, save 40% off. We put some dates, and we actually put funds still available so you can see that. If there's money, if all the incentivized portion is gone, we will change that. It'll say funds exhausted or something to that effect. So you'll be able to tell right away. Please, please look at the suggested copy before you send these out. We actually had one get sent that we saw, and the copy at the bottom said, put suggested copy here, because we had put that in there as a reminder, and the store just missed it, and they actually sent it with that down at the bottom. So look for the funds still available down there in the copy section. Make sure you're updating it to make it specific to your store. Maybe you want to do something a little different, create a little more urgency on it. That's what it's for. So, Clint, kick back to you where you can tell them how they find out about these guys.
Okay. Well, pretty much the same way that you found out about this webinar today, and I really appreciate you guys and your feedback on my weekly emails. It's really exciting to see you guys take advantage of these. So, just as a quick review, each month, as Eric was explaining, vendors are going to incentivize, given templates. And I've let you know ahead of time with the SKU and the title of all the products in a given email. Just so that you're aware, a month in advance even. This started back in September, and we're into our second month now. You'll be receiving November's list very soon, possibly next week. So once you get in here, what does all of this actually mean to you? Essentially, with your weekly newsletters, you'll see there with the SKU and everything. This actually saves you time, and as Eric was saying, this saves you time, it earns money, and you cut your costs. So make sure that you contact your sales rep just before we get to the next slide. Make sure that you contact your sales rep so that you get the best price on these items. We want to know how this is working for you. Again, just Eric mentioned the question box. Let us know, some good responses you've had from these emails. And
let me jump in here real quick. We have a couple people who said get me on the newsletter, please. So we'll make sure to get those guys added. We did have someone who sent it out with it said funds still available down there. So please check that copy. Make sure it's you can edit that all you want. You can leave what we put in there as a suggestion. You can take it out completely and leave it blank. You can retype your own information, maybe put your own pricing if there's not specific pricing at the top. Totally up to you. Another question, can they schedule out incentivized emails?
Oh, of course. These work just exactly like your normal vendor templates. You schedule them ahead of time. Make sure, like Eric said, that you adjust the text in the suggested text box and schedule them as you will. And that first send is the one that counts.
as long as there's funds available.
Exactly.
And again, it's as long as there's funds available when the email goes out, not when it's scheduled. So I would
Correct.
encourage you to, if you're going to schedule it, absolutely schedule as part of your month. Have it go out as soon as possible.
Correct.
Just to make sure you don't miss out.
Right, because it works from the reporting, which is a direct result of the sends, not the schedules. So, hope that's clear as mud. Well, another thing that we'd like to talk to you is another time and money saving feature, and that's the iPhone app. The iPhone app, it's a great app for use on your iPhone from SnapRetail. You can build a display or snap a picture of anything that you just received and create a social media post immediately. And here's how it works. But first, if you haven't already downloaded the iPhone app from the iTunes Store, be sure you do just as soon as we're finished here today, or now if you have your iPhone with you. On your screen, you'll see a snapshot of what the app looks like in the iTunes Store. Any picture that you take with your iPhone within the iPhone app, it's instantly loaded into your SnapRetail account, and it's ready for posting. You can categorize your pictures for an easy lookup later. As you noticed, I've checkmarked the iPhone app box, which you can create when you upload images. You can create categories in addition to the categories already existing. So what do we do with these images once we take them with the app? Well, again, there's a snapshot of your calendar. You've clicked on the plus sign and you see the quick social, email, or the store event options. Excuse me. What you're going to do is click the create a quick social post. You'll type your status update into that box and you'll post away. As you notice, it's pretty simple. You just click, and then fill in some blank forms. And you see there that I have posted the most awesome product ever. So again, I want to know how this is working for you. If you've been using the iPhone app already, use the question box to let us know how that's going for you. The great thing about social media and this iPhone app is it does create urgency and added value to any display table, cell rack, music selection that you set up in your table, because you set it up, as soon as you're finished, you can snap the picture and then put it on Facebook, all from your phone. And that way the customers see that and they're excited and you see a good response.
Yeah, and we would love to hear from you guys if you've been using this app, if you've been just the kinds of things you've been using it for. Are you when new products show up, you build a new display of something new that comes in, or a big stack of one title that you're letting your customers know it came in, or you're doing a blowout sale. Maybe you have a lot of leftovers of some particular product or product line, and you mark it all down, and you go over, you snap a picture of this cool display that you've built, and you post it to Facebook. You put it out there on Twitter and you create some urgency. This is all 50% off for the next 2 days. And you kind of try and drive traffic with it. Use that to drive Facebook. Use that on Twitter to push people to come in. Is the app available on Android? Question came in. As of now, no. We have not heard there's any development on that yet, at least that we know of. So it's an iPhone app only at this point. If you don't have an iPhone personally, I bet one of your staff does. I bet somebody in your store would have one. The app's free. You just go download that guy, link it to your Snap account, and it's like Clint said, as soon as it's linked, as soon as you snap a picture, it loads it into the My Pictures, My Photos.
Right, loads it into your images.
Just as
you would upload an image from your computer. This saves you time because you don't have to take it from your phone to your computer and then upload it to SnapRetail. It's as soon as you click the button, it's in your account.
Yeah. So then when you go in to schedule it, you just say, I want to put my own image in here. You go to My Images, and you just drag it in, and you're good to go.
Exactly.
Which is really slick, the ability to do that fast. I mean, we've all been in stores where you wanted to take a picture, you wanted to do something, and what a pain it's going to be. I take a picture of my phone, or my camera, plug it into the computer, drag the image, it's just done. So they're making it as simple as possible. I mean, SnapRetail works with small independent gift stores is how they started, and they know that there's not a lot of extra time out on the floor. So let's make this as easy as possible. So getting a picture taken in there, using that calendar to schedule out your whole month. I mean, we've talked to stores, Clint, that said, I just scheduled my whole month. I scheduled multiple emails in one shot, and I'm done.
Yep.
Now I can go back out on the floor. I don't have to sit at a computer all day.
Yeah, you can schedule out basically an hour of your week and knock out an entire month of social media posts and one email each week. and it takes an hour of your time each week, or one week per month, actually.
Yeah, and you probably get even faster than that once you get comfortable with it.
Well,
too.
exactly, yeah.
Another question came in that we totally failed to explain on the incentivized emails. What's my incentivization? What do I get out of this? It's a half a cent for every email that you send, up to $15 total. So if you have 1,000 emails, you get 10,000 emails, how many you've got, you'll get a half a cent back for every single one that goes out. Again, up to $15.
Correct.
We had to put a max on it because we have some stores with some absolutely massive email lists, and they would eat up all of the money with one send. And that we wanted to make sure everybody could take part in that. So it's a half a cent a piece. So I would encourage you to keep adding emails as fast and often as you can. You know, at the register when people are coming up, you make sure to get that email. It costs you nothing. It's a way to communicate with the staff or with the customers the way they want to be communicated with. And when you drop it into Snap and you push the button, you'll actually get a half a cent back for that, guys. You're actually monetizing your list. It's not just this nebulous thing that's sitting there. All right. I think we're kicking on to the next slide, talk segmentation a little bit. Yes, okay. You don't want to be viewed as a spammer. We all know that. We don't want to have our customers opting out because they feel that they're getting overloaded. What you're seeing here on the screen is a screenshot out of SnapRetail of a bunch of lists that Clint loaded in and made up. We would encourage you, highly encourage you to do this. Use SnapRetail, use your POS system to pull lists out that are segmented. So a fiction list, people who've only bought ESVs, emails that you gathered on Facebook, kids buyers, anything like that that you can segment out that you would want to target in SnapRetail, use your POS to pull that out. Go and say, find everybody who's bought fiction in the last year, last 2 years, whatever you want, export it, drop it in here. Now you have a segmented list. So when a new title comes out or one of these incentivized emails, well, incentivized, maybe you want to send that to everybody to monetize that, but we drop an email in with a new Max Lucado book. Pull all your prior Max Lucado buyers, drop it in here as a list, and push the button. You can have one customer on every single one of these lists. It doesn't affect the number of names you have in the system. Once they're in once. They're just tagged as being part of this list. But you don't want to send every email to every customer. They'll start to get annoyed. They'll start to opt out. You're not technically a spammer, but that's how they'll view it. And once they opt out, you've lost them. And once you lose them once, you've lost them forever. That's just something we don't want to take that risk. I have a friend, some of you remember Heather, who actually used to work here at Parable, left a couple years ago and went up to Gap and works out of San Francisco, manages a lot of their mailing and email systems up there. A couple years ago, Gap sent 500 emails over the course of the year across Gap, Banana Republic, all their different entities, about 500 unique emails. The next year, they sent almost 1,000. Basically doubled how many emails. That's 3 emails a day going out of that building. But they were all targeted. So they sent Banana Republic people about the new pants that were coming out. They sent the Gap people new sweaters or whatever it was based on prior purchases. Everything was based on knowing the customer, targeting the customer based on prior purchases. Their opt-out rate did not change. Doubling the number of emails they sent out did not affect how their customers viewed them because they didn't feel overwhelmed. They got an email and said, oh, yeah, I like that stuff. Oh, hey, look at that. They would send some emails to every customer because it's their generic email that goes out to all. Right. But the ones that were specific, they made sure to go after the customer with things they knew the customer would like. That's what we're encouraging you to do here. Go in, make a bunch of lists. It's unlimited. You have no limit, I don't think, to how many lists you want to put out there.
You can have as many lists as you have email individual customers. So if you have 1,000 customers, you can have 1,000 lists. You can have an infinite number of lists. It doesn't affect the number of email addresses in your system. So your account is not affected by the number of lists. And just another thing I'd add on is the subject line becomes so much easier to write when you have a targeted email going out. It just takes a lot of pressure off of you as the email creator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. New Max Lucado releasing today. New Jars of Clay comes out tomorrow. I mean, you can drive traffic with these, and when people who've bought those prior things see there's a new one, you're going to hook some of them. So
definitely,
please use this. Again, you unlimited, put as many as you want, but don't go nuts because you're going to need to maintain these. Mm-hmm. You're going to want to keep a current fiction list in there all the time, a current biography buyers, and think through seasonal. People who bought biographies at Christmas time last year probably are more prone to buy them again this year. Maybe they give those as gifts, or there's someone on their list that they give them to. So enough said on here. Segment your list. Please segment and maintain and protect your names there.
So another great thing here about just the internet in general, email, is social media, because email is a more formal way of contacting your customers. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, as you see up here, these are 3 of the top social media sites out there. And you can connect your Facebook, your Twitter, or your Pinterest account to your SnapRetail account, and it becomes your one-stop location for customer engagement. And with Pinterest, you don't even need an account to take advantage of the Pinterest features in SnapRetail. And I want you to remember that the key word here that we're looking at today is engagement. Social media, you don't really run the risk of spamming your customers. As you can see from the slide that just popped up, what you want to do with social media is be more conversational with your customers. You want to engage them so that it is a peer relationship almost. You can say, hey, like you see, it's National Bike Week. Did you ride your work today, or how's your chains? And you're never too old to play in the dirt. Did you plant something today? Social media is a great way to keep your store's name out there in front of your customers without appearing salesy, if you will. And the customers, they don't feel like just a number. So how is social media working for you? You guys have some great stories you'd like to tell us? You're seeing a lot of likes. I've talked to several stores in the past couple of weeks that have been taking advantage of SnapRetail primarily through Facebook and Pinterest. And they're seeing a lot of really good customer interaction. So if you guys have any great stories, feel free to use that question box now. Let us know, and we'd love to hear how well this is working for you. And in addition, we'd like to have any questions that you have. We'd like to answer them for you.
Yeah, and that question box again it's really important for us to hear from you guys. We're always watching the emails that are going out, that are being sent, because we're looking for really good stories. We had a store who did an in-store a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. The only thing they used was SnapRetail to send emails. I think they probably did some social media posts to advertise. We have a local author coming in. She'll be signing books, and they had a line out the door. Mm-hmm. It was a phenomenally successful event for them because they've built up a following. Their customers know they're going to be letting them know about events through email. They know they're going to be posting things to Facebook and Twitter, and they've taken the time to build that relationship and somewhat train the customers about that. We love to hear those stories because we want to share those back out. We want to go back and say, hey, this store did XYZ on Facebook, and it really, really worked, because there's hundreds of us across the country all kind of sitting out there by ourselves. But if we hear something that worked with someone else, we can maybe take that in and do it in our store. We hear that every year when we sit down at ICRS. The stores love to talk with each other because here's what I'm doing, well, here's what I'm doing, and they go home with great ideas. This is a way for us to help facilitate that. So you're posting stuff to Twitter that drove traffic. You're using Facebook for it. You're sending some emails out that are really working. Please let us know. Drop a note in here in the question box. Email Clint. Please provide us that feedback. And I would encourage you on Facebook and Twitter especially that it's not a lot of selling. Little bits here and there. And Clint had mentioned it's about the relationship. You can see some suggestions down there. Use it to drive traffic once in a while. Create a little bit of urgency that we're blowing all this stuff out and you've got 48 hours to come in. And then go back to the relationship side of stuff.
Yeah, just kind of, I'm sort of a visual guy. And if you would just think about, back in the 80s, there was a really popular TV show called Cheers. And every time this one guy would walk into Cheers, Norm, you would hear. That's what you want to be like with social media. You want to be familiar with your customers. You want to keep them engaged. You want to know that you love them specifically.
We had a store who just dropped in. They have a really good Facebook relationship with their customers. They're posting daily, sometimes more than once a day. They post a daily Bible verse with a photo. That's a great way just to stay engaged because the customers get used to seeing you regularly. Mm-hmm. And you're encouraging them. You're just giving them something to think about for the day. And then once in a while, if you mention a new book or you mention something going on, it's not this overbearing, trying to sell stuff all the time kind of feeling. It's all about the relationship there. They look, they just threw another comment in that the customers look forward to those verses. Mm-hmm. That's a great way to do that.
Definitely.
I have a friend from high school who posts a verse every day on Facebook. I shouldn't say a friend. A guy I knew in high school who was way off the beaten path, was not a Christian, and to watch where he is now is really encouraging. So I look for that every day.
definitely.
And he's not posting pictures of what he had for dinner. He's posting verses, so it's always encouraging. All right. Well, we wanted to keep this somewhat short today. We want to honor your guys' time. You've got a lot going on. So, it is getting to that time of year. We have a to-do list, a little list of reminders. Send those vendor incentivized emails. Watch Clint's newsletter. If you asked us to make sure you're on the list, we will get you on there. If you have other employees that you would like to receive that, let us know. We'll get them on that list. If there's someone that you're delegating this to, we can make sure that Clint's weekly emails are going to them so you can see these 6 emails got loaded or are coming up, and here's the list of SKUs and the vendor and the price points that will be on them so you can plan ahead of time. Just like if you're sending a catalog, you want the purchase orders. That's what we're doing basically in these emails.
Right.
So you can watch for them. You can see which ones are incentivized. Maybe you focus on those. You can get them scheduled out. Again, you can earn up to $15 per email. So if your cost on a monthly basis is, let's say $50, I'm just making up numbers here, but for Snap, if there were 3 of these, you've almost covered your whole cost if you have up to $15 worth of email addresses in there. It's just reducing your cost every time you push the button on these guys. It's a great thing. So send those out. Get that money back. Don't miss out on those. Download and use that iPhone app. Again, if you don't have an iPhone, grab someone in your store who does say, hey, download this. I'm going to use you. You get to be my picture taker in the store, and get them connected. Load those segmented email lists. Build a list in your system. Import it. The first couple of times might be a little shaky. Like, how do I do this again? By the time you hit the 3rd or 4th segmented list, you'll have it down, or delegate it to somebody again. Engage with social media. Get out there. Use that social media, those tools, that Facebook, that Twitter. When you post an email, or when you send an email, post it to Facebook or Twitter. At least consider doing that based on what's on that email, and just do Facebook and Twitter posts. You can schedule them out. You could plan 2, 3, 4 weeks worth of Facebook posts if you wanted to. Ahead of time, done, scheduled. You don't have to think about it again. They'll just happen. And again, if you're not getting the weekly newsletters, let us know. And please remember on that suggested copy to take that out, at least to look at it. It might be fine. You might look at it and go, perfect, that's exactly what I want to say, and let it go. And one more question that just popped in. We keep track of the incentivized credits. Yes, we do that. It comes off your Snap Retail bill, or we will manage that with Snap or just directly from us. So you'll be seeing that as those go out. So absolutely. If you have any other questions before we end this thing, you can drop it in the question box there again. Stay in contact with Clint. Let him know what's going on.
Yeah.
So we're going to launch a poll. I'd like you to rate the value of our webinar here. There it comes up there. Please take a minute, click on one of these guys, just let us know. As the first Snap one we've done, we want to do these a little more regularly. We'd like to stay in front of you guys. If you have suggestions and ideas of, hey, if you could do this next time, talk through this, here's a piece that I don't understand, please let us know, because we'll make that part of it. One more question come in. Someone had been trying to decide between an iPhone and a Samsung Galaxy, and maybe we've decided for them. I will mention to Snap that there is a request for Android. I just don't know at this point. It's not up to us. It's up to them to build that tool.
Just quickly, a thought came. We'd mentioned, because your time is valuable. I know that you guys go to church somewhere, and just about all churches have youth groups. So if you don't feel you have time, I know that there are kids in your church who are social media gurus. They spend their lives there. Give them a CD per month, or maybe a book. You work out some deal from you. You get them to come in for an hour, each week, and work this program for you. Of course, under your supervision. But it's a great way to involve kids in your church and to save you also some time.
Wonderful. Thank you for coming. We really appreciate you guys being here and spending time with us. Throw these poll results up real quick. So it's part of it. You guys can see. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate it. And you guys go have a blessed day and a great rest of the week. Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon.